Oh, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. I waited by your quarters for a solid 15 minutes because I thought you might have misplaced your laundry. Well, then I thought perhaps you had fallen asleep on your cot and I was going to have to bust the door down to make sure you didn't miss dinner. But when your quarters were just empty, I came looking for you. You never really realize how big the space is until you walk from end to end, up and down, and back again. I checked the gym, the pool, the library, even the tanning station in each individual booth. I never really understood why we have those in space. But still, it was the very last place on my mind. But I'm glad I found you. Are you okay? I don't mean to pry. Well, okay, I totally do. It's just, that was some intense battle, huh? We were out there for hours. I know the strain alone just from operating the mechanoids for so long takes it out of you. But with such an intense scuffle... Well, okay then, I know you wouldn't call it a scuffle. More like a full-on Royal Rumble. But with that much time behind the wheel, as well as fighting off all those ogres, I wasn't sure if you'd puked or something. Oh, don't look so worried. We've been on so many missions together. 457 exactly. Yes, of course I've been counting. It's code that we must report back after every one, after all. So what if I'm a stickler for rules? I like to make up for all the mess I cause out there with good paperwork. Who cares if you feel a little woozy after taking our A1 mech out for a spin? She doesn't go anywhere without putting your all into it. And hey, if you hurl, it just means you're giving 110%. I'll let you in on a little secret, since we're super mega partners and everything. On my very first ride with a mech simulator, my legs wouldn't even reach or fit the controls. Yeah, they just dangled there. Not even a real mechanoid, just a flimsy VR simulator. How embarrassing, right? Now look at me. Top of the cadets for swimming, high jump, and shot put. Not to mention part of the duo with the most confirmed ogre kills across the Neptune, Mars, or Venus divisions of defense. Of course I've plenty I can't do, and more of my fair share of things I still cannot get my combat junkie head around. Exactly the reason I emphasize to anyone who comes to pat me on the back that I am part of the most successful duo. Not just old meat-headed me by myself smashing my way through everything. No siree, I would be absolutely nothing without my co-pilot. That's you. You're like my right hand, inside the cockpit and outside of it. Without you, our mechanoid would only be able to flail her left hand a little bit. Without you, none of the weapons would be operable. She would basically be a big chunk of space metals. Without you, I would always leap into things without thinking ahead. I would have been flattened on my first mission. Or more likely, left back on Earth. Without you, I wouldn't have anyone to egg into watching monster flicks with me when I'm able to scrounge them from the vending machines with the credits we get from our missions. Without you, no one would ever listen to me randomly gush in detail about the history of human space travel and mechanization. Without you, no one would help me write more articulate reports and official requests that get us put on the exploration teams. I doubt we would have been able to visit Orion's Belt if I had put my proposal forward of because I would really like to. Basically, what I am trying to explain in my very heavy-handed and loudmouth way is that without you, I would be really, really, really bored. And just as lost. And that's not even mentioning what you do for the entire team here. I don't think I've ever seen anyone who can look at a bunch of asteroids on a holomap and point out a route in like 10 seconds flat. No one can turn the crummy mashed potatoes we get served on a Wednesday into an actual edible filling meal like you. And your encyclopedic knowledge of space weather? It's amazing. It doesn't matter about what you can't do. Because what you do is rock. And not the moon type this time, the actual kick butts and take no names kind of rock. But with less kicking of the butts and more of the saving mine. I know that adapting to life on Neptune can be difficult. And to tell you the truth, I worry about you. Every time you vanish for a little bit, I worry maybe that mission might be your last. You might call it quits. I know I could just as easily be assigned another pilot if you were to want to transfer back home. The point is, I don't want another pilot. You are my partner, and as far as I'm concerned, that's the way it will stick. If you decided to go back to Terra, I would go with you. It is. But I don't ever want you to feel worried that you aren't worthy to pilot. Because you are. And I know that Neptune life isn't as comfortable as Earth, and if I could snap my fingers and install those state-of-the-art comfy cots for you, I would. I guess the point I am trying to make is we all get scared sometimes, or worried, or homesick. We all feel like this might not be the right place for us. I do all the time. Just because I love space and I think of this compound as my home doesn't mean I don't miss where we came from. Doesn't mean I don't think about if I do the right thing every time we put on our gear. Doesn't mean I don't have nightmares about what might happen if I ever have to make a life or death decision, or if the colony comes under attack. Hell, the dark still scares me sometimes. But we have each other's backs. That's what I choose to focus on. Why I channel my strength. Why I push myself. I want to live up to this partnership. The example you set. I want to make sure all of our friends here have another terribly bland meal to come back to. What we do out here, the terraforming, the guarding, the fighting, we are paving a new future for millions of people. And there is no one I feel more honored to share such a role with than a certain geekazoid who cannot throw a discus and is terrible at the pinball machine in the rec room. Oh, yes, you are. Ever since we met at the academy back on the green and blue planet, from the day we were partnered together to the synchronization compatibility testing, which we scored flawlessly, so go us, to deciding to name our mechanoid Bessie the Chiefess. An excellent joint effort. To being shipped all the way to Neptune. I have always had the thought in my mind that, yeah, River, you really have bagged yourself a keeper. Make sure this wicked nerd knows how much they mean to you whenever they seem down, and never, ever let them beat you at any racing game, ever. Here. This is for you. What do you mean, what is it? It's the last cookie left in the mess hall. Raspberry and white chocolate as well, not to toot my own horn. I knew you wouldn't eat anything, so I used my ration for the day to swoop in and grab you a little something. Yes, I'm sure. I managed to snag an extra portion of meatloaf for pool cleaning duties, so I've already eaten. Just take it. Don't make me put you in a headlock and force it down your throat.